Have you ever had an awesome 3-day weekend and thought, wow, I'd like to do this all the time? I had that experience about 24 years ago when I was working in the working world after having leaving college. College was a lot more fun. There were a lot more long weekends and spring breaks. And it took me about 20 years, a little over 20 years, to get to the point where I could consistently have 3-day weekends. And in fact, now I have them all the time. My name is Wade Gall. I help entrepreneurs and employees create a 4-day workweek lifestyle. In this video series and podcast, I'm going to share with you tips and strategies to help you start creating your 4-day workweek lifestyle. Now, when I talk to most people about this, it sounds like a very far off goal. And for me, it was. It took me about 22 years to consistently lock in a 4-day workweek. And yet along the way, I learned some strategies, learned some specific things and lessons that helped me move forward, and that really, if you understand, should not take you 22 years to be able to create a lifestyle like that for yourself. Now, of course, if you're an entrepreneur and you already own your own business, this is something that can happen a lot quicker if you're already earning the income or close to the income you need to earn, and it's just a matter of managing your time and priorities. That can happen very quickly. In fact, many of the entrepreneurs I've worked with have been able to get from 70 hours a week or 60 hours a week or 50 hours a week to a 4-day work week in less than 2 months. And a lot of that was because they had things set up already and they simply weren't taking advantage of it. And then other people follow the path more of what I'm on. I was on a path where I started out as an employee and was doing a great job, but did not have the time freedom, and eventually gained more time freedom in my job, but still was tied to this 5-day work week because this was 20-something years ago, and people weren't giving out flex work weeks as options. People and businesses and small business owners were not measuring business results off of productivity. It was still more about how long you sat in a chair. And so when I started my own business, I had to first figure out how to make enough money and then take the time off. Now, when I first started, things were really simple. I was a single guy, and I just wanted to figure out how to make about $40,000 to $50,000 a year in 4 days a week. And I had already figured out the $50,000 a year plus in the corporate world. And so doing some consulting and then create a little software business didn't make it too difficult to do that. But within a year and a half, I met the woman who would become my wife, Rosanna, who was extremely awesome. But when I met her, I realized, oh, wow, $50,000 a year ain't going to cut it if I want this woman to be my wife. And I want to be able to have her have the same luxury that my father afforded my mother, which is to be able to stay home with the kids and raise them in the earlier part of their life. So in all of that, I had to start thinking, well, how do I balance going back and forth between making enough money, having the time to enjoy life, knowing that, at least from my experience, the money alone wasn't the answer to happiness. I'd seen plenty of my father's friends make a lot of money, and some of them were happy and some of them weren't. And I saw some of them enjoy their families, and I saw some of them really make choices that really weren't so good. And so while I definitely am a huge fan of money, if I can have more money and make more money and create more value for people, to me, that's always better than not having it. There's so many things you can do with money if you have it and if you've earned it honestly, that you can help people and do great things. So this is not about not wanting money, but I wouldn't want the money at the cost of time with my kids, time with my wife, time to enjoy my life. And so what I'm going to do in this series is share with you some very practical and simple steps and tips and strategies of how you can get from being what I like to call a 4-day workweek apprentice, someone who's starting out on the journey, and move towards being a 4-day workweek worker, somebody who might or might not be an employee, but somebody who has a focus of really increasing their productivity, to somebody who becomes a 4-day workweek entrepreneur or solopreneur, somebody who starts to make their own decisions, and then ultimately, perhaps, if you want, a 4-day workweek business owner. And regardless whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, the stages are all the same. In fact, some people, when they become entrepreneurs, will skip the first 2 steps of being a 4-day workweek apprentice or a worker, and they go right to being an entrepreneur. But because they've not mastered the fundamentals, they end up working 50, 60, 70 hours a week consistently. Now, to be clear, in any business venture that I've ever seen that's sustainable lasting at least 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 years, you're usually not going to build a business model in 3 to 6 months. If anybody's told you that, some models are kind of fly by night and you can do that here and there. But for the most part, it's not going to happen that quickly. Even the guys and the gals that'll tell you, well, hey, I learned this secret and in 1 year or in 2 years or in 3 years, I made this huge amount of money. What they usually forget to mention is, but yeah, I did a lot of field work before that. And in the last year, I found this breakthrough that pushed me over the top. But I had been doing some field work along the way. So none of this is going to happen overnight. But at the same time, if you work on this, in my case, it took me 22 years. I'm in my mid-40s and I work a 4-day work week. On Fridays, I'm at the beach playing volleyball as long as the weather's good. And I'm enjoying more time with my family and my friends. And I'm still creating huge value for my clients, still making a very good, solid contribution to society. There you go. My phonetics, maybe not as good, but my contributions are awesome. So in all of that, my main focus is how can I create a life that's worth living, a life that I enjoy. And while a lot of people like to focus on this concept of, well, if you really work hard today, tomorrow you'll have this huge life experience that'll be amazing and awesome for you. That's not how I like to do things because, first of all, I've met many people that have a great build-up and they want to be an athlete or performer or an actor or famous or something big and huge and they've got a great dream. And then because of an injury or because of life, whatever, it doesn't work out. And my question is, well, did you enjoy the process? Now, some people enjoy the process and they enjoy the journey and they enjoy the result. That's the way to do it. But if you're just doing something just to get to a result that might or might not happen, I'd rather make sure that along the way, I'm enjoying every day. And so as I tell my kids, look, if every day of life, you have a good day, you're a happy person, you enjoy your day, you're going to have a happy life. It's really that straightforward. So in this series of video or podcast, however you like to consume this, I'm going to share these specific tips. And I'm also going to refer you to the website where you can learn about some of the tools and some of the free coaching materials I share that you can use to help you start working towards creating your 4-day workweek lifestyle. And the first step, the 4-day workweek apprentice, you don't even need to leave your job to start doing it. But before you even do that, there's a strategy and a piece called the 4-day workweek game plan. So if you go to 4daygameplan.com, that's 4, the number 4, daygameplan.com, you can sign up for that. And there's a free mini coaching program to train you and show you how you create your 4-day workweek game plan. Regardless whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, this will help you get started and moving in that direction. And in future videos and podcasts and audios, I will share with you specific steps in the same content, much of the same content I use inside my coaching programs. My goal is to help over 4 million people, specifically 4,444,444 people or more in my lifetime to work a 4-day work week and to enjoy that. I've seen what a difference it makes for me in my life. I'm a better father because of it. I have more time to be present with my kids. I'm a happier person. I have more time to enjoy my life. I'm a better husband. I have more energy to help around the house. And yes, I do the dishes sometimes. And yes, I do the cleaning and that stuff sometimes too. That's part of how we make things work. But in all of that, creating a life that you're enjoying, and whether that means 4 days or not is not really the detail. So some of you all might say, well, Wade, I want to be able to work the days my kids are in school. So I'm going to work 5 days a week, but really about 30 hours a week, Wade, rather than 40. Okay, whatever works for you. The strategies are going to work. The specifics are going to be for you to decide. So again, to get started, if you like, go to 4daygameplan.com. You can always go to our regular website, 4dayworkweek.com, to learn more about what we're up to. In the next video, I'm going to go into greater depth of the 4 stages in becoming a 4-day workweek entrepreneur and business owner: the apprentice, the worker, the entrepreneur, and the business owner. And you'll learn more about that. So hope you got a lot out of this information. If you'd like, share this with your friends, subscribe to the podcast or subscribe to the video, and make sure to let me know whatever I can do via the comment section or through social media what I can do to help you move forward. I look forward to helping you make more money in less time doing what you do best as you start creating your 4-day workweek lifestyle and the lifestyle that allows you to enjoy most the time with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and yourself. Thanks for listening.